Hello everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm excited to share a heartwarming story with you titled, The Adventures of Henry, 3 Years of Joyful Chaos. If you enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Of course, if it's not your style, feel free to skip it, no hard feelings. Now, let's begin the story. When Henry first came into my life 3 years ago, I thought I was simply adopting a cat. What I did not know was that I had just signed up for a full-time comedy show, complete with stunts, surprises, and endless entertainment. From the very first day, Henry made it clear that he was not an ordinary cat who would spend his days lazily sleeping in the corner. No, Henry believed that the entire house was his personal playground. Every chair was a launch pad, every window a grand stage, and every cupboard door an opportunity to show off his acrobatic skills. In those early days, I remember constantly chasing after him, trying to stop him from climbing on top of the refrigerator or from knocking down vases, as if he were testing gravity. He would leap from the couch to the table with the confidence of a gymnast, landing softly and looking at me with eyes that seemed to say, "Did you see that? I deserve a medal." I couldn't help but laugh, even while picking up fallen objects. Henry's energy filled the house with a kind of delightful chaos. It was as though he brought sunshine indoors, even on the cloudiest of days. As the years went by, Henry's personality grew larger than life. He wasn't just my pet anymore. He was the ruler of the house, and I was his loyal subject. Every morning began with his dramatic wake-up routine. Forget alarm clocks. Henry believed it was his royal duty to jump onto my bed, pat my face with his paw, and sometimes even sit directly on my chest until I opened my eyes. If I dared to roll over and ignore him, he would race across the room, knocking things over until I had no choice but to get up. Throughout the day, Henry kept the house lively. He had a habit of zooming through the hallway at lightning speed for no apparent reason. Sometimes I would be sitting quietly, reading a book, when suddenly a yellow blur would dash past me, followed by the sound of paws skidding on the floor. At first, I worried he was being chased by something invisible, but eventually, I realized he was simply running for the sheer joy of it. Watching him was both hilarious and heartwarming. He reminded me that happiness could be found in the simplest of things, like a good run across the living room. Of course, Henry also had his mischievous side. He loved to knock pins off my desk while I worked, as though helping me take a break. He often climbed onto the kitchen counter when I was cooking, curious about everything. Once, he even managed to open the cupboard door, crawl inside, and sit proudly among the pots and pans, looking at me like a king inspecting his treasure. Life with Henry was never boring. Now, after 3 years together, I realize Henry has taught me more about life than I could have imagined. His constant running and jumping are not just random acts of play. They are his way of celebrating existence. He shows me that energy is meant to be used, joy is meant to be expressed, and love is meant to be shared freely. Every time I see him leaping through the house, I am reminded that movement is a form of happiness and that we should never take simple pleasures for granted. Henry also teaches patience and acceptance. There are moments when I feel frustrated, like when he knocks something over for the 100th time or when he demands attention at the most inconvenient hours. But then I look at his innocent face, his sparkling eyes, and his goofy grin, and I can't help but smile. His playful chaos has become a rhythm in my daily life, one that I would never trade for silence. Looking back, I see how much brighter these 3 years have been with him by my side. Henry is more than a pet. He is a companion, a comedian, and sometimes even a philosopher in disguise. His endless energy reminds me to live with enthusiasm. His love reminds me to cherish the people and animals around me. And his playful nature reminds me that life is not about keeping everything perfectly in order. It's about finding joy in the mess. So, while Henry continues to sprint across the house like an Olympic athlete, I sit back, laugh, and feel grateful. 3 years have flown by, and I know many more adventures are waiting for us. Life with Henry is unpredictable, but one thing is certain. It will always be filled with laughter, warmth, and love. Living with Henry for 3 years has shown me how important it is to embrace energy, playfulness, and joy in our daily routines. In today's modern world, many of us become trapped in the cycle of work, deadlines, and responsibilities, often forgetting to take time to move freely and laugh. Henry's habit of running around the house with no purpose other than happiness is a reminder that we don't always need a reason to enjoy life. We can simply celebrate the moment. His playful chaos also teaches patience and flexibility, skills that are vital when dealing with the unpredictability of work, relationships, or personal challenges. Instead of becoming frustrated when things don't go as planned, we can choose to laugh, adapt, and find joy in imperfection. Henry reminds us that life is not about controlling every detail, but about cherishing the little moments of fun and connection. In modern life, where stress and pressure are constant, it is crucial to create our own spaces of lightness and play, whether through hobbies, exercise, or simply spending time with loved ones. Like Henry, we should jump, run, and celebrate existence, turning ordinary days into extraordinary memories.